Silhouette Dash releases in 5 days time on the 20th of August, free to play on Windows and Mac. This is devlog number 8 and the final devlog I'll be making about this project. I've officially playtested this game 5,000 times and I probably will quite a few more times before the day of release. Anyway, hey guys, bblakeyyy here and welcome back. Today's devlog is explaining the process of polishing and finalising a project and how I went about it, and probably some of the coolest stuff in the project I'll be showing today. So stay tuned and subscribe if you enjoy. So one of the main focuses of the last few months of the project have been music. The whole project development I've wanted smooth music transitions and just an overall good experience for those who enjoy music and sound in games. And it took a good few days and weeks, but I now have a pretty versatile set of scripts that all work together to make seamless music transitions depending on the level and style of it. The way it works is there is an audio manager that spawns when you open the game, and that audio manager follows whatever level the player is in using the function don't destroy on load. And if there is any extra audio managers in that level for whatever reason, that current audio manager will yeet the new one out of the scene. Then, in each scene, there are scripts that reference that audio manager to use it. For example, in a level where I want to fade out the particular song playing, a script finds that audio manager and slowly drags the volume to 0 over a period of like 2 seconds. And it will stay that way until I decided to max the audio volume again when I want a new song to play. This is the easiest and most versatile way I could make a smooth audio system that doesn't break player immersion, even though it was an absolute pain to put together. Speaking of music, I finally finished all the songs, and I even went back and made new songs for some of the ones that are already in place, as I just weren't happy with them. There's now 9 songs in the game, excluding the main menu, as that's not really a song, and I'm pretty happy with it. I've quite enjoyed making music, but I'd definitely be happy with someone else doing it for me, as it's really not my strong point, which a lot of you can probably tell at this point. But hopefully it does a job for the player, as it's not awful, I hope. And if you hate it, you can always turn the volume down. Here's a preview to one of the later songs in the game. Moving on from that, I was happy to remove a bug that has been plaguing me since day one of this project, and it is purely due to my small brain coding skills when I started this game. Basically, the player detects the ground using a box collider instead of a raycast, which is the worst thing ever. Do not follow this method unless you want hundreds of problems. Anyway, due to this, if the player was running into a wall, it wouldn't stop the running animation, as the game thinks the player is running, even though he's not actually moving. To get around this, I added code that checks the player's velocity on the x-axis, and if it's smaller than 0.1, then the player is set to idle. So that fixes that and makes the game just that bit more immersive. Very nice. I've been spending time extending some of the levels in the game, as some of the earlier levels could literally be completed in like 5 seconds. So I've been extending them a bit more, not massively, just enough so the level can't be finished in literally 3 seconds unless you're like a god, I don't know. This is also beneficial as it's given me an opportunity to add some more info on the lore on the game, rather than mindlessly walking through levels with no incentive, you know. Speaking of levels, I added something super cool, something I'm pretty happy with, and that is a level select screen. A bit anticlimactic, I know, but hear me out. So this level select screen only unlocks when you beat the game, giving a player incentive to beat the game and then have the freedom to go back and explore and replay any level they want. And it's just a nice little reward for the player. I'll briefly explain how it works. So, there is a save file that is merely a value of 0 or 1. By default, it's 0. When the player beats the final level in the game, that value is set to 1. In the main menu screen, the level select button only appears if that save file is set to 1. A very simple but effective and practical way of adding rewards into your game, and not too hard to learn, especially if you've used the function player press before. Now this is something small, but I revamped the pause menu. Something I always planned to do, but I just could not be bothered, to be honest. Anyway, Now it has some stylized text that fits the game's pixel arty style, and also the controls for jumping and dashing are now showed in the pause menu, as they are intentionally unorthodox, so they may take some getting used to, so the player can go back and check it whenever they need. Something like a pause menu that appears in every single scene is useful to be placed as something called a prefab. This means when you change anything in that prefab, it will affect it in every scene. Something I've found is massively beneficial the more I learn about game dev. One more bug I needed to change is the way moving platforms work. I didn't even know about it until like 4 days ago, and I've learned a ton about it now. Basically, the moving platforms use a function called transform.translate, which do not incorporate physics. This causes problems because the player uses physics to move and interact with the world around it. When the player lands on the platform, he was glitching the hell out because physics and transform.translate doesn't work well. So to tackle this, after some failed attempts at trying to change this and all sorts, I decided to make it so the player cannot move while on the platform, only jump and dash. And it actually fits pretty well with some of the levels and the lore of the game, as you have to ensure you position yourself correctly to avoid obstacles on the path of the platform. See, there is truly a fix for everything if you look hard enough and you aren't good at programming. At the point the game is at, I don't see anything major I need to add or change, but I can imagine I'm going to go back and do some minor changes in the next few days before release. Either way, I've spent a ton of time fixing tiny things, as those are the things that make a game feel polished and professional. This has been the final devlog for Silhouette Dash. If you want to check out the page, the link is in the description, but of course you can't download it just yet. The next time I make a video should hopefully be on release day. Make sure to turn notifications on for the channel to stay up to date, and stay tuned for the 20th of August so you can download my game first thing. You better, you hear me? I better see my game on your computer, otherwise there's going to be consequences. For legal reasons, I'm joking. That was a joke. Anyway, guys, I thank you all very much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.